Hi friends, welcome to JOS. So we will create and register API today, and we will try to create the API and complete it by itself. Okay, so let's start it by creating few folders, interfaces, and yep. So let us create few interfaces. Okay, interface is user repository and sorry, it will be renamed iRepository, and then we will create a unit of work. So we will create dependency injection. Okay, uh, I unit of work. Okay, so let us create for it app user to user. Okay, now we'll say task user app user, then find by user name async. Okay, string username. So let's get the namespace, and once this is done, let us go here, say we want to have bool has changes. Okay, and then we want to have a task bool, that's a boolean property, and then we will say complete or save changes. Okay, let's say call it save changes, so we will be in sync. And one more thing that we need to include is I user repository, then user repository, then get property. Now we will create uh, classes user repository, and then unit of work. Okay, so now let's inherit I p dot, take the namespace, implement it. Okay, now we'll do the same thing, copy and okay, before the implementation, let us add few packages. Okay, let's say automapper. Okay, okay, so let's go and create constructor ctro, and then data data context goes to context. Private read only. Okay. Okay, now we are going to have, so this mapper we will show you how we are using. Okay, I mapper, okay, underscore mapper, same thing, just copy, paste, copy, comma, paste. Okay, now take this one, okay. Okay, now mapper equals to mapper. So now let's implement this underscore context dot user dot add, then user. Okay, now return await await, then context dot user dot where find this, o dot username dot equals username, and then dot first or default async. Okay, so basically we are doing some asynchronous task here, so we will do it accordingly. Okay, now let's move on to here. Okay, copy that, then pasting unit of work. Okay, now what we can do is here we can do new user repository underscore context underscore mapper. Okay, now we can check to see is there any change or not. So return underscore context dot database dot has changes, has dot, mm, track changes, uh, text change tracker dot has changes. Okay, so this will return if any change is there or not. Now let's come to here, say return await, and then underscore context, then we are having save changes, async and then greater than 0. Okay, so we are all set. Okay, now let's create a controller. Create a controller, say count controller. Okay, let us create public async task register. Let us create few DTO. Okay, so let's create a folder called DTOs. Okay, say register DTO, register DTO, and then we will have a user to be sent. So user DTO. Okay, to save time I have created some this. Okay, where's the register DTO, control V, and then we can go and collect the user. Okay, control dot, you have everything. Now we are going to have a user DTO, and that's it. Now we will say private read only I unit of work equals to unit of underscore unit of work copy comma. Okay, my unit of work. So now bring the unit of work here, and let's give the register DTO same model, and then we will have string username equals to model dot username dot to lower. So we want this to be lower. Okay, then we will check to see var user, okay, equals to underscore unit work unit of work dot user, and then we will get find by async. Okay, then we will say username. So from here we will get this stuff. So wait, and if user not equal to null, then we will return bad request, user exist. Okay, now if not, then we will say user equals to mapper and underscore profile dot map. Okay, mapper is not here, so bring the mapper. Yeah. Okay, control C, control V, control C, control V, and then just to save time I'm copy and pasting. Okay, control C and control V. Sorry, control set mapper. Okay, so we are good now. So underscore mapper dot map, and then we want to use the app user then we want to pass the model. Okay, so to do that, what we need is we need a profiler. So let's make an app profiler. Okay, uh, create a class called Automapper profilers. Okay, inherited from profile. Okay, and then we will have a constructor and no parameter here, and let's say create map, then whatever we want to pass from register DTO to app user. Okay, now this need to be configured in our extension. Okay, so services dot add auto mapper and then pass type of uh, auto mapper profilers dot assembly. Okay, now one more thing we need to add, say service dot add scope. I will tell you about this later on, add scope and a transient, and there is another one called singleton, so we will do that later. So let me add what we want. We need that. So what we want here is I unit of work, and what we will pass is unit of work. Okay, so now we are good. Here is Automapper, and that is scope and db. Okay, now let's say we have done with the mapper. Okay, now we will add underscore unit of work dot underscore unit of work dot user repository dot add user, then user. Okay, and if not await, okay, if not await underscore unit of work dot save changes, okay, then we are going to return bad request, and then we will say error occurred during registration. Okay, else we'll say return okay or created at, we can say. So for time being we'll say create new user DTO, and then we will pass username equals to model dot or user dot username, and then gender equals to dot gender, then we are known as, then user dot known as, and then we are having token. So for the time being we are giving empty, we'll check later. Now so this is done, but we have missed something, so we need to configure uh, uh, HMAC encryption here. Okay, so let's bring that here. Okay, so var HMAC equals to HMAC SHA 512. So new, now we'll get user dot password hash equal to HMAC dot compute hash. Then we need to pass encoding byte array encoding. Okay, then dot utf 8 dot get bytes, and then we will pass the username. Okay, so now we have computed. Now let's say user dot username equals to username. Okay, HMAC we have computed. Now we will have the key. So for when we are going to log in, we need this key. Okay, hash key to check to see the hash algorithm. HMAC dot key. Now let's build .NET build. Yeah, let's do that. Which one? So we have successfully created our API. Let's okay. So basically I have created this to save time. So let's send. So what is the, okay, this is running in 7128 and in this one on different. Okay, let me send. So we will see successful in a while. See, now we have created the registration. Now if we send again, so it will say user exists. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe it for more content. Okay, thank you.